why we're in this war with Iran. He's not doing anything for the people that helped to elect him. So pretty interesting to see someone who clearly was committed to him, feeling this kind of way and calling in to express it.
So when I see a 35-year-old who's like, I've broken with Trump, I'm like, yeah, we'll see, right? Because for me, it's what we were talking about yesterday with the Thomas Massie vote. This is the bedrock of the Republican coalition. Like boomer grandmas, people like this, who are like, I love her. They just sit there and sit in a trance when they watch Jesse Waters on Fox News. Literally, like, remember back in the 90s when Republican women were putting televisions in the kitchen so they could watch Fox News, so they could never. This is a serious thing. I'm not kidding. And that level of devotion to Donald Trump. That's why I never bet against his control over the Republican Party. It's beyond ideological. It's beyond policy. It's genuinely like a cult of personality. And so for them, I never really expected much to shake. But this is interesting. Now, look, it's a single caller, single data point, but
and you get the feeling,
most noteworthy part.
You get the feeling he could win Janet back.
100%.
She's looking for anything. You know, if he gets out of the war and he sells her some deal on Fox News, she'll be like, see, I was right about him. He's still the greatest thing that ever happened to America. Janet is still winnable for you, President Trump.
Right. But you got to get out of the war. So win back Janet. I do think, if cracks like that are where things begin, that's where things actually begin to get interesting, because that's somebody who's like, I'm very dissatisfied with the way the administration. It also demonstrates, a lot of people say, oh, nobody's paying attention to the Iran war. Not true. That comment about being drafted, there's probably a lot of mothers around America who think that way, especially, by the way, Thomas Massie's opponent just supported a national draft, in case you're wondering, for who's true MAGA actually in this race, and not the guy who was like, hey, why are we in this stupid war in the first place? So I think that stuff really matters. I also think that her point around feeling abandoned, the bar stool, she's like, the people who have always defended you. I mean, one of the things that was the biggest talking points amongst the people, remember, below $100,000 who voted Republican, was the economy was better under Donald Trump. So when you have a much worse economy, or definitely you have very, very high gas prices, high inflation, that is, it pierces the core argument that a lot of these people would make. And I heard it all the time. It was about screwing liberals. It's like, okay, he did that. But the second part was cost of living. And actually a third part was general lack of chaos around the world. It's true. There were no new major conflicts that erupted under Donald Trump's first presidency. Then Biden came in. There were two massive geopolitical earth-shaking events. And then when Trump came in, not only are those two still going, but he did a third by choice, for literally no reason whatsoever. So that does begin to pierce the veil of a lot of the majesty, stuff around the first term that people built up in their heads, especially under the chaos of Biden.
Yeah, Long Island is where she lives.
That is like MAGA town.
Yeah, but it's also a place that's, relatively high cost of living. Yeah. So she's certainly going to be feeling the crunch, and the gas prices are quite high there, et cetera. So in any case, let's take a look at the numbers that back up some of what Janet is seeing and feeling out there. Let's put this up on the.
Yeah, shout out to Janet. And this is what I was talking about. I was like, guys, this Iran war is pretty much going in reverse of what Trump was going for, and making things more affordable for your average American. And here's the thing, she's middle class, so she's not doing that bad. But if she's doing bad, then imagine how everybody under her is doing. That's what a lot of people need to realize. Is somebody in the middle class in Long Island, somewhere that's, it's not ritzy, but I mean, it's middle class. People got nice ass houses out there, got a nice ass school system out there. And you're telling me they're going through it too? While Trump is out here talking about a high stock market, letting us know that, well, I mean, the top 5 to 1% is doing great, but the people who voted this man in is doing terribly. And yes, it was mostly middle class people without college degrees, people who work with their hands, people who work in the factories. Those are the people who put their bet on Trump, who Trump is pretty much letting down. And honestly, I think people need to say it out loud. And maybe we can get the administration to do a course correction. But if you allow Trump to crash out on war with Iran, then he's going to lose people like me. He's going to lose people who are definitely younger than me, and people who are in the middle class and below. And that's going to be a lot of voters that he just cannot afford to lose. And that's going to lead to the Democrats taking power back again, which we all don't want that. But you can't sit there and fearmonger on that while also helping them achieve the goal.
the screen. This one, the New York Times, Siena. Their polling has been relatively predictive in the past. For example, they were some of the first polls that picked up on how much Latinos and even some Black Americans were shifting towards Trump in the run-up to 2024. Yep. In any case, his approval is sinking dramatically here. And the first question we've got up on the screen is, do you think Trump's decision to go to war with Iran was the right decision or the wrong decision? 30% say it was the right decision. 64% say it was the wrong decision. 2/3 of Americans. And let me tell you something, folks, this is very different from previous wars. Typically, Americans get right on board with the latest war that they are being sold. This is very, very different. The Iraq War favorability numbers at this point in the war were sky high. There was a loud, vocal anti-war minority, but it was a decided minority of the country. Just to keep this up, with Democrats, it's just basically unanimous. That probably won't surprise you. Only 5% say that it was the right decision. 93% say it was the wrong decision. Look at the numbers, though, with independents. Only 21% of independents say it was the right decision. 73% of independents say this was the wrong decision. And with Republicans, they overwhelmingly support it. 70% are on board. But, for Trump, with Republicans to have 22% saying it was the wrong decision, that is a, notable minority. That's not nothing. Normally with his decisions among Republicans, who at this point, if you're a Republican, you are a MAGA Republican. Normally when he makes a decision, basically everybody gets on board with it on the Republican camp. So that is a notable minority there of the coalition that is unhappy with this. Let's go ahead and put B2 up on the screen. We can see some of the numbers inside of this poll. So Trump's approval rating now is at 37%. That is a decline of 3 points from the previous poll, and it is the lowest approval rating that this particular poll has found.
But here's the thing. He's down on everything. Like, down on immigration now, and you want to know why he's down on immigration, even though he has what was it? He has negative people coming in, negative net migration. The reason why he's down on it is because he deported 600,000, but he's about to let in 600,000 Chinese students. You're gonna lose people on immigration when you sit there and you damn near turn a negative net migration negative net migration into damn near a break even because you want to let in Chinese students. That's insane. Of course he's down on the economy. Inflation's up, prices are up, everything that you don't want up is up. Stock market's doing well at least. And then Israel and Palestine conflict, of course he's low on that one because Israel just keeps breaking the ceasefire, but we still want to say that there's a ceasefire. Then the cost of living, well, of course, he's down on that one. Like I said, if you're down on the economy, you're going to be down on cost of living as well. And of course, war in Iran. Yeah, of course, he's going to be down on that one because he didn't really do too much convincing. Unless people just went along because, I guess they're a diehard Trump fan and they don't want to admit that, this man promised no new wars, especially in Iran. But here we are going along with it.
For him in either term. So hitting a new record low for him. Also very noteworthy, you can look on the right side of the screen, you've got his net approval on key issues. Underwater on everything.
I appreciate it, sis. But it is what it is at a certain point. Sometimes you just got to let it go and just go new direction. And just understand, I guess I got to rebuild some things on my side. It is what it is. Just make sure you guys stick around, watch the videos, like the videos that I put out and all that good stuff. And we going to beat this. It is what it is. But at least I got some answers now. Oh, yeah, guys, like I said, make sure to smash that like button, and any question, comment, jokes, or disagreements, you can feel free to super chat that in or become a member. But all right, guys, let's keep it going.
Underwater, 15 points on immigration, 31 points on the economy, 31 points on what they describe as the Israel-Palestinian conflict, 32 points underwater on cost of living, and 34 points underwater on his handling of the war in Iran. And then also very noteworthy as we head into the midterms, let's take a look.
All right, though, let's get into Tulsi Gabbard, all right? Because Tulsi Gabbard resigned. And what's so crazy about it? Now, look, I know everybody's trying to get all conspiratorial about it and all this good stuff, but here's the thing. She resigned because her husband, Abraham, has a certain type of cancer that seems to be serious, and she just wants to spend time with her husband, okay? So let's just keep it there, but I'm about to contradict myself right now, but let me tell you the reason why nobody's really hearing that shit. is because, well, remember what Laura Loomer was saying? That, oh, Tulsi Gabbard, you need to resign. You need to go ahead and resign already, or we're just going to force you out in disgrace. Now, what happened? A month or two later from that tweet, Tulsi Gabbard's resigning. There's been hints that, oh, they're leaving Tulsi Gabbard out of the meeting. She's getting pushed out and all this crazy stuff. The CIA comes and raids her office and takes important classified documents, or was supposed to be unclassified documents of, what was it, JFK and 9/11. So, and now all of a sudden, oh yeah, I'm resigning because my husband has cancer. It's just like, she's like, her and her husband are in my prayers, but this just lines up weird. I'm just gonna be honest with you. It lines up weird. And I don't want to lean into that conspiracy, but let's just be real, man. People like Laura Loomer, who were just calling for her to resign because of her opposition towards the war. And then, I mean, other people as well. And then all of a sudden she just drops out. It's just like, well, not drops out, but resigns because her husband has cancer. I mean, like I said, I'm just going to take her at her word.